It is Rachael and John, and it is late night. Welcome back. It's episode 50 of the new version.
The confetti?
Right.
Yeah.
What do you get for 50? It's
golden.
It's
a milestone. It is golden. Yeah. This is the third, what would we say, generation of the show, right?
Yeah,
started as an audio, then it went to video, and now here we are doing
audio and video and radio.
Multi-platform. Now we're like, you can't get away from it.
Right. And everybody thinks like, wow, you guys are so tuned into technology. No, we're not, because Johnny and Monica and Michaela make it all tuned into technology.
That's exactly right. So welcome back to late night. We're really excited to be here, and we have to give a shout out because the Merry Widows came back, and you can come as well to 5 Foster Plaza every Friday from 5 to 6 o'clock. The only time we don't podcast is Christmas weekend. Yeah. How about that?
Sometimes we switch to a Thursday because something's already booked on our schedule on a Friday.
We're ish people.
Yeah. But, you can always message us. But we are comfortable now. We were worried about getting our legs under us as far as being comfortable with the space, knowing how to work the space and everything. Yeah. So
do you know what Kate Miller said about us?
What?
Kate Miller from Pittsburgh Magazine, who was on last week, said, this is your groove.
Oh,
so there you go. Pass it along. Share that.
There you go.
Listen, follow us.
Yeah. So now we need to make it a party. The other place, people would bring their own baked goods. They'd bring their own wine. Tonight we have wine homemade by Scott Baker from Jimmy Lee Cinnamon Swirl. So
we're not beating anybody.
It's a party here. If you're watching, if you're listening, whatever you're doing, know that you could subscribe to it either on a podcast feed or the YouTube, or just go to the Facebook page every Friday night at 10 o'clock. You get your popcorn, you get comfy in your warm socks and your Afghan, and you sit and watch us.
Where do you get this?
I don't know. Is that
what
people
cold?
do?
I don't know.
I'm not cold.
No Afghan for me.
If you're home on a Friday night at 10 o'clock, you're living a boring life, so you probably have an Afghan in socks.
All right. If you are tuned into the Jagoff podcast, then you know that every other day we are writing blog posts. Now, we are the term of endearment, Jags. However, we have to do our diligence and call out Jags who are doing some things wrong. So, did you do that at all this week? Yes. Your own... Okay.
Yeah. She'll never work for the CIA.
I'll never work. I never claimed to work for the CIA.
Anyways, look, you have to do all these things to get your garbage ready to go. Everybody that's 90 years old knows that they used to just come get it almost out of your kitchen. But no, you have to put it in recycle bins.
Wait, they would come inside.
Rach,
no. Oh, I thought you were serious.
It's humor.
I thought you were serious.
Yes,
okay.
It's humor. It's sarcastic. Mm-hmm. And so you have to put it in recyclable bins. You have to separate the paper, the whatever. Then you have to walk it out to the curb. And what happens? If you look at this picture, again, if you're listening on the radio, make sure you go look. The garbage cans in my neighborhood were literally all over the sidewalk. And there was garbage laying on the sidewalk like they just dropped it. Do you do that in your own home, right?
Oh my gosh.
And look, we did all that preparation work. Put the garbage cans at least back, you Jagoffs.
Everyone sees how annoyed you get. It cracks me up. You should see him drive. That's when it gets even worse. Second up was couch on Sedan. It was moving day.
It is beautiful.
Listen, I have to get cued. If he sees somebody moving, I have to have my camera ready to get that picture because it drives you absolutely nuts when people are carrying.
You spend $300 on a mattress and a box spring. Why not spend the extra $25 to get it delivered versus putting your arm out the window and trying to hold it on at 60 miles an hour?
Drives you crazy.
This one was a couch on the top of a car.
Say it right.
And it literally and it literally was on with bungee cords.
Yes.
So of course I stayed back, not because I was afraid it might hit me. I stayed back because I wanted to go viral.
Get the picture.
If it would fall off.
I clearly was not there for the photo. So there you go.
Anyway, spend the money. Everybody is 2 steps removed from Kevin Bacon and a friend with a pickup truck.
There you go. Third up, we are actually headed on October the 26th to the Leaning Cask, and we are going to be the costume judges. I have to tell you, Christmas is my holiday. Halloween, John. He is actually in the process of making one heck of a costume for somebody special. This is like the thing he did for his kids growing up, and Halloween is your jam. So you're pretty stoked. Are we dressing up to be the costume judges on October 26th?
That is a good question. I don't know if we're going to dress up or not. It all depends on the time that we have.
John says I'm no fun. I was not that person who put the time in like he did. Like my kids would say, what should I be? And we were always like, put on a poodle skirt. because
and I don't want to be those, those 20-year-old kids that come around your neighborhood and they put their football or hockey jersey on and they do this with their black paint.
Yeah,
and they go, oh yeah, I'm a thing. You're not a thing, and you're not getting any of my candy.
Angry once again, and he's not even.
They're the ones that I give the juicy juices to because they're heavy. Drop them from 10 feet up. Boom.
Or worse yet, a huggy.
Yes, right. That's what I meant. Yes.
I knew that's what you meant. Anyway, so the Leaning Cask, we've been there before. If it sounds familiar to you, that is because if you've seen our segment on Talk Pittsburgh, we do a segment called Jag Tag. And Jag Tag is about small businesses and where they originated, right? These guys started much smaller, and now they have this great bar that they're known for. Is it Tarentum, New Ken?
I believe it would be Blawnox, right?
It's not Blawnox. You think it's Blawnox. It's not. It's further. It's like New Ken.
It's not so far.
Google it.
The
Use that Google
place.
Because that's where it is.
Right, Glenn's Custard. It's right in the area of Glenn's Custard, Springdale.
Springdale. It's so not Blawnox. I knew that much. But anywho, check it out, and we hope that we get to see you there. Also,
well, let's do a double down on that again. We just did the dog costumes.
Gosh,
we gave an extra $100 for someone who brought their dog dressed as a Jagoff, like in a Brady shirt or a Cleveland Browns shirt.
Yeah.
So if you come in a Jagoff outfit, which Vinnie Ryan did one time at a costume show or
this is true.
a fashion show, come dressed as a Jagoff. We will definitely give you a special prize.
There you go.
All right.
This is a milestone episode, you guys. It is 50. We're so excited because we started your Jagoff Late Night on Friday the 13th last year, October 13th. So here we are coming up again on a year and 50 episodes. Pretty exciting.
Yeah. Here we are in like this really cool 5 Foster Plaza, as you
space.
Said.
I love it.
And again, reminding you that you guys should come here because current company included, we do have cocktails and pizza and all kind of snacks. Right now they're divvying up one Snickers bar.
I didn't want to call you out. That's right.
And it's the Halloween version of the mini Snicker bars.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So it is the milestone. And listen, cue the confetti again. We're pretty proud because, as one of our guests mentioned, we wrote a blog post this week about the fact that Jagoff is
copyrighted.
How about that? Trademarked. So we're pretty excited. Yeah. Actually, I would be lying if I said that. Somebody has 28 days to contest it. And if any of you do, we're coming around with baseball bats, just saying.
Right. Yeah. We will find you. What is that? Liam Neeson.
But we are pretty excited because I'm he's Jagoff, and clearly we've now patented that or whatever the word is. So
which is kind of cool because over the years we've done some products. We have coffee. Yeah. Your Jagoff coffee. We have your Jagoff fudge with Spectrum fudge. Mm-hmm. And we're about to maybe go into soaps. Present company included. I guess I need that. And but the one thing we haven't gotten into yet is Lazy Boy chairs.
There you go.
So if you're producing Lazy Boy chairs, we'd love to brand them as your Jagoff Lazy Boy chairs.
So that is our milestone. Maybe that's a wink, wink, nod, nod for what the question of the day might be. So here we are, and we are at episode 50. Can't believe it. We have some great guests tonight. We're really excited because we have never, ever interviewed the one and only Sharon Eberson.
How about that?
Who is the mom of one of our absolute faves.
Right. And I'm
Josh
going to see
Axelrod.
what's it like, what's it like to interview someone who's used to interviewing?
Yeah,
Are they in protection mode?
Well, and I don't know if Sharon realizes that I am such a journalism nerd. Any of the good journalists, I can't. I know.
You're going to get the tea.
I'm not. We only have 9 minutes for really us to find out so much about Sharon Eberson. We can't get that deep. Right. Anyway, and Sharon, in case you didn't know, is involved in quite the project. And we are getting introduced to her dear friend who has done off the record since its inception, Chris Laitta. Mm-hmm. How about that?
Yeah. And then, of course, we always have an akin to local music because of our
I know
family,
them.
right?
Yeah.
And we walked
Northside roots.
We did the Nelmer thing. Johnny, Michaela, what happened? Rachel says, "Can I help?" Next thing you know, she ends up 9 minutes talking to people. Right. And
Mary Widows, we know these people. They're all from the North Side, but they are the blues drivers, and they are going to perform for us. So we are super stoked to talk to all of these Pittsburgh people doing great Pittsburgh things. So stay with us on Late Night.
Welcome to Flamingo. Can I take your orders?
You need a tap in?
No, we don't use this. We know how to yell the sandwich, the cook. Here we go.
Let's dig in.
It's John and Rachael. We love to dig into iconic Pittsburgh places like Permanis. So we brought our friends from People's Gas.
Please call at least 3 business days before you dig.
It doesn't matter if it's a big project or something small like a mailbox. always call before you dig.
I called. We can dig in.
So please call 811 3 business days before excavating so you don't have to call 911.
I've been thinking that Rohrich Automotive needs a new jingle.
Rohrich Automotive got the best cars around Pittsburgh.
Driving a Rohrich, I bought it at Rohrich. Picked up my new car at Rohrich Automotive. I got friends at Rohrich Automotive where the staff is nice and the dealership's loaded with brand new cars. And you can drive real far.
It's Rachael and John, and it's late night. Now, listen, we all know Rachael tells the story about, the famous people she's met because of her dad and through her life.
Do I? Is that really what I do?
And they're entertaining stories. Okay. And even to the point that some of the Temptations were at her wedding, not as performers, as guests. But, so very rarely did she go, oh, my God.
Yeah.
When she meets somebody, she's very, very rarely aghast.
I'm very unfazed.
And here we were at the theater one night watching some, right? And you go,
The Book of Mormon. It was the Book of Mormon, yeah.
oh my God, it's Sharon Eberson. And Sharon says she was aghast, like, oh my God, she couldn't get her breath.
Well,
so
first
you
I
fangirled over that for the first time I've ever really seen.
I didn't know she was Josh's mom, and then when I put all that together, maybe we should invite her into our conversation. Sharon Eberson, welcome to the podcast. I can't believe it's taken this long.
Hi, Rachael. Hi, John. Great to be here, and a little embarrassed by all this.
It's fanfare.
I'm used
all
to
for
being
you.
on the other side,
I know.
So yeah, it's a little much, but
that is absolutely, and that is a true story. That you were so cordial. Neither of us had seen the Book of Mormon, right? You hadn't seen it, John?
I had not, no.
It was fantastic, by the way, but it was such a great surprise that you and Josh were watching it along with us. So, for people who don't know, give us a little background on how you got your start into writing.
I have a very strange background. It's really sports. I was a sports writer first. I'm from Brooklyn, by the way. I'm one of those New Yorkers. When I came to Pittsburgh, I was the first woman in sports at the Post-Gazette, and they gave me my extension for my entire 41 years there, 41 plus years, was 1960, which was the only time that the Pirates beat the Yankees in the World Series. And that was kind of the joke, that they gave the New York girl the extension, 1960.
Yeah, and I heard the accent as you were saying that. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's...
you grew out of it? No.
No, not really. I've been in Pittsburgh a very long time, most of my life. So I did everything in sports pretty much. I'm a page designer, I'm a writer, a copy editor, an editor, all those things. And then for those of you who've been around for a while, the Post-Gazette, which was really the second paper in town, the press was the big paper. The press went on strike because they were struck by the Teamsters, and they controlled the presses, our presses, and our delivery. And who knew that we were the ones who were going to survive? My late husband, Phil Axelrod, also was a sports writer. We had just had that guy you were just talking about. And when we came back as the paper that survived, because we were a union paper, actually, the Teamsters were willing to negotiate with us. Everything was up for grabs. And I wanted to go back to a love that I'd had for a long time. I studied stage design, I studied art, and I wound up in the features department, and I did everything. I was Sunday magazine editor when we still had a tabloid, Sunday magazine, back in the day. And then when it went to broadsheet, I became arts and entertainment editor. I was online features editor. And as things moved along, and Chris Rawson, who preceded me as theater critic, was backing off and eventually retired, I wanted to get back into, again, this love that I have for theater. I didn't want to see the live performing arts go from newspapers as it pretty much has. So that's when I became theater critic. And I was theater critic, I think, for almost 10 years. I was the chief theater critic at the Post-Gazette. And when I left, I didn't know what I was going to do. And a guy named George Hoover, not related to Ted Hoover or Bob Hoover, both critics in this town, lots of Hoovers here, called me up George has 2 Emmys as a technical director, including for the Olympics, and worked the Tonys, and said, I'm restarting something that was called Pittsburgh in the Round, which was around for around 7 years and had gone into disrepair. He backed up the archives, said, the live performing arts, no one's covering it, Sharon. If you're not there, no one's going to do it. And it's true, they have not replaced me with anyone full time. And that's how onStage got started.
And so for people who don't know, onStage Pittsburgh, it's onStage Pittsburgh, right?
onStagePittsburgh.com. Take a look.
It's a subscription based, correct?
No, we are still not a nonprofit, nor do we have a fiscal sponsor. We've been building it for the past 4 years. Last year we had 160,000 unique views, and we're working up towards this next phase and being able to make it sustainable for a new generation. Because I'm a person of a certain age, and I don't want to see the coverage of the live performing arts in this town, which I love, go uncovered. So that's where we are right now.
And it's interesting because we're coming off of Newsapalooza, where we have, we've exposed that journalism in general has just taken such a turn, and people are figuring out other platforms and ways to be expressive, and that's just a testament to it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, given the fact that you have the New York background, where do Pittsburghers are always try to be number one at something, but how do we rank as far as having cultural, specifically live performances in theaters here in Pittsburgh compared to the other cities?
Well, I'm telling you, but Pittsburgh I think of as a big, small town. But it all starts with education. And please ask Chris Laitta about that when she comes, because she's an educator here as well as one of our great performers. But CLO Academy, the Conservatory at Pittsburgh Musical Theater, we started them as kids here. And the Gene Kelly Awards and the Mancini Awards, and on to Carnegie Mellon, which I think was recently the Playbill and other places rank the top drama colleges in the country. Not only is CMU the oldest in the nation, but it's usually in the top 5, and it is again. We send people to Broadway and Hollywood like nobody else.
Is that right?
And one of the privileges of my job, real privileges, is to see people like Zachary Quinto and Mason Alexander Park. If you don't know who Mason is, look him up. He's amazing. And John Clay III, who is going back to Broadway, I think, for his 4th show. I get to see them, as freshmen or as high school seniors at Carnegie Mellon and Point Park. Ahmad Simmons, who's doing a show at Pittsburgh Playhouse now. They're doing... Pittsburgh Playhouse is going back to doing family shows. Remember, they haven't really done one in a long time. And it was written by Ahmad Simmons, who is a dance protege at Point Park. And I think this is his 8th or 9th Broadway show he's done.
Wow.
And here he is back in Pittsburgh, doing the show. And that's one of the things that you don't necessarily get to see. There's so much going on in New York. Some of that's happening, obviously.
Sure.
But here you can really see it,
That's a good point,
And you can find your way to these things. And like I said, every time I go to a show, it's a privilege. I went, I took a night to go see a show, which I haven't done in a few weeks. Bare Bones Productions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Patrick,
this totally bonkers show. I mean, it really is bonkers. It's called Crocodile Fever.
Crocodile. I was close.
To Carnegie Mellon. I don't know where they are in their education. I'm sorry. Sarah Lindsay and Phoebe Lloyd. Just amazing. And pulling off this. If you go, there will be blood, and there will be a crocodile. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
And at that show, I was sitting next to Cotter Smith. I don't know if you guys know who Cotter is. He was the star of Unsinkable, which was shot here. Favorite of Steven Spielberg. You see him. He plays Kennedy's a lot. He has that kind of build and face. And he's someone who, very successful actor and educator who came to Pittsburgh to do something. I don't remember. I don't know if he came. It was because he came from Mindhunter. He was also one of the original stars of Mindhunter that filmed here. And Cotter he went to Pittsburgh Playhouse, the old Pittsburgh Playhouse, and saw an amazing production of a musical called The Scottsboro Boys. Tommy Cousin was the director. These are all people you should be taking down.
Yes,
Talk
I
to
know.
these
We
people.
need notes.
As a matter of fact,
We're
before
there.
let's just remind everybody who we're
Amazing
talking
people.
to, right? Because Sharon Eberson, who started onStage Pittsburgh, and you've been not quite stalked by Rachael,
A little bit.
but pretty close.
She tells me that.
Yeah.
I do. I mean,
I don't
it
know
was
if I
from
should be
afar.
scared or
But we do appreciate you coming on the podcast. So in the meantime, so go ahead, keep continuing. We just want to make sure we tell
And-
everybody who we're talking to.
So Tim McGeever, Cotter Smith, these are people who, Tim McGeever is a local actor. His wife's an educator. Tim was in the touring company of The Lion King, Izazu. Also came through Pittsburgh, thought, what a great place. You know, New York, it's really expensive there. And they came here and they settled here.
Wow.
And it's not like you can necessarily make a living as an actor almost anywhere if you act on stage, let's face it. But one of the things Pittsburgh does offer is those opportunities to also be an educator. And there are lots of those kind of things. So I think, and we're a little more affordable than New York. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
I see a lot of that too.
So you're like, again, going. It's almost mirrors your sports running. You get to see the young athletes in their rookie years, and then follow them up through the major leagues. Is it very similar to what you're doing now?
What I'll say about being a sports writer and being a critic is those are the two, if you want to learn to write on deadline, that's the way to do it.
Okay.
I've been taking playwriting workshops because why not? And I've nothing else to do. No, I've been dabbling in that. And the idea that I've been working on something for 2 years is just, how did this happen? I did start out with, I worked with someone, I was managing editor of a magazine called Action Sports Hockey back in New York. Again, you have a month lead time, you know, and but for the past 40 years, almost everything I did had to be watched and written in a few hours. At the Post-Gazette, there was a tradition when the Penguins got into the Stanley Cup, or when we covered an Olympics, they would send a features writer along. In 2009, I was the away writer, features writer, when I was going to say we. When the I don't cover sports
yeah,
anymore. I
right,
can say that,
that's
right?
right.
Yeah. When the Penguins won the Stanley Cup. And if you bought the T-shirt, that's my name on the cover because I did the front page story, but I had 10 minutes to finish. And what you do is you do something called you write running, and that means I'm writing as it goes. But I'm also trying to be a feature writer too, because there are people covering it. And then they announced, so it was in Joe Louis Arena. They went in.
Right.
Max Talbot, scored 2 goals, and Tom Barrasso had a great game. And they said they announced that their dressing room was too small for all of the gathered media. That the Penguins would have 20 minutes on the ice with the cup and their families, and then any interviews we wanted, we had to go out on the ice. And I was wearing leather boots with leather soles. And so that was a trip. I got out there, but I made deadline. I will say I made deadline. That was very exciting, and also terrifying. It's always terrifying. Anytime.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where can everybody find out more information about you? Because we get to talk to Chris next up about Off the Record, which is obviously happening very soon. But tell us where we can find out more about you and your publication.
OnStage, Pittsburgh.com really is
Easy.
the way. And I'm Sharon Eberson Axelrod on Facebook, and I'm mostly on Facebook. I know that sounds very unhip, but that seems to be where
I think we're hip.
where the theater folks go. And I tend to I post 20 times a day sometimes,
Sure.
depending.
Yeah.
Because I follow what everyone is doing. I will say, over my career, I have been so lucky. I have interviewed so many of my heroes: Mel Brooks, Hal Prince, Hugh Jackman, and you'll find out that I'm obsessed with Hugh Jackman if you follow me. So now you know something about me. He's coming back to New York. He's going to do a series of shows at Radio City. I'm already registered for tickets. So
I love that. There's the fun fact. All right, question of the day, and did you bring us a junk drawer gift? I believe you did.
I did. I brought a couple of things. Usually, if you reach into any drawer in my house, you can pull out a playbill.
Okay.
This is actually something, a promotional thing. I'm a consultant for something called the International Free Expression Project, and that was the first thing that I pulled out. So you have that. And the other thing is, and I'm kind of known for this, I always have cough drops everywhere. There are cough drops in every drawer in my house, in every purse, in my pockets right now, because I can't complain about people around me coughing during key moments when it's really quiet.
That's so funny.
So that's become my thing. I'm really known for that.
It's your crutch.
It is. You can reach into any purse I have and find cough drops there.
Okay.
So
mine are Amazon glasses. Every purse, all different colors. As far as
mine are filthy, by the way.
Mine are too. As far as the question of the day, we are at our milestone podcast episode. Tell us something that was your milestone. What comes to mind as far as a milestone for you?
That Mel Brooks interview was pretty cool.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, good night.
No.
Okay, great show. Nobody else is coming on.
I'll say that, you were talking before about all the different platforms you've been on. When Ma Rainey came out in the movies, I went out into the world and decided we were going to talk about I was going to do something, and I wasn't sure exactly how, about August Wilson's relationship to the blues.
Okay.
He famously said, "I am the blues," what that meant. And I walked onto the set, nobody stopped me, of when they were filming on the North Side, and George C. Wolfe, who is the director, was sitting there by himself, and I only know who he is and what he looks like. People walking by him like he was, but I know because he's a theater director. He's actually directing Audra McDonald and Gypsy this year on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
And I walked up to him and said, I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I have this question for a story I'm doing, and he was lovely, and he talked to me.
That's quite
and I won, and it was multimedia presentation. It won a lot of awards, but that just was like a cool moment. And
I would say.
And that was a big moment for me to do that.
Sharon, it is a pleasure. We have to bring you on more often. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for bringing us off the record. Yes.
I really want to say October 17th, Off the Record.
Yes.
24th year. This is, I produced this show. We have a cast of 30.
24, yeah.
Sarah Innamorato is our guest speaker. This is her first time. I understand she has some comedy chops that we don't know about.
Okay.
So we'll find out. Ken Rice is back as MC. If you've never heard or seen Ken Rice when he is off the record, he is awesome. We have a cast that goes from CAPA kids to top professionals. And it's a satire of Pittsburgh news and newsmakers. And but really important to say, it's a fundraiser for the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. Mm-hmm. And this is why we do this every year. 1 in 8 children in southwestern Pennsylvania live with food insecurities, and the money we raise, and this is a huge volunteer group of 3 unions, United Steelworkers, Newspaper Guild of Pittsburgh, and SAG-AFTRA, and we've raised over $800,000 over the years for them, and you ask about milestones, and I'm very proud of that.
That's a wonderful.
And we're going to get more details on that with our next guest. In the meantime, it's Rachael and John, Late Night.
Mancini's Bakery, 97 years in business and still getting better. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will see various Pittsburgh personalities like Gretchen McKay, Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, KDKA's own Mary Hours, and WPXI's Jenna Harner, learning how to make the famous Italian twist bread. Follow Mancini Bakery on Instagram and Facebook, and remember to ask for Mancini's.
Welcome to Fernandes. Can I take your orders?
You need a tap in?
No, we don't use this. We know how to yell the sandwich to cook. Here we go.
Let's dig in.
It's John and Rachael. We love to dig into iconic Pittsburgh places like Permanis. So we brought our friends from People's Gas.
Please call at least 3 business days before you dig.
It doesn't matter if it's a big project or something small like a mailbox. Always call before you dig.
I called. We can dig in.
So please call 811 3 business days before excavating so you don't have to call 911.
Where you at? Well, we are in Woods Run in Northside, where I grew up. These are my roots. I'm so excited to be here because my mother grew up right there, and my father was her paper boy, and he lived right there. So this whole area is so iconic. I got my babysitting start here. I learned how to ride my bike. So I want to take you on a little tour of Woods Run. Okay, so everybody knows Cousin Lisa. We just had a memory the other day that everybody in our family learned how to ride their bicycles right here on Westbourne and Sorrento. Come down the street, let go of the training wheels or let go of the bicycle, and you would just go around the circle and keep your balance. Cousin Lisa will tell you she did it better, but I think it was me. It's John and Rachael, and wrapping up from the one and only Sharon Eberson. I don't know if Sharon checked it out, but we did a little Where Ya At segment from my old stomping grounds over in the Woods Run area. Check it out. We do a Where Ya At segment every single week on Jagoff.com.
If you want to have us come, or have one of our Jagbreakers go to Where You At, just remember it's not a whole neighborhood. It's like 3 streets in your neighborhood that you remember. This is where I get my coffee. This is where I used to get my shoes done, whatever. Those are the kind of things.
This is where I had my role in CLO's Young Frankenstein.
Very nice segue.
I don't think anybody could say that except
Yes.
for our guest. How about that? Say your last name. Chris.
Laitta.
Very good. Chris, it is such a pleasure. It's an honor, actually, to have you. Seriously. I mean, obviously, you know my my infatuation with Sharon. And before talking to her, thank goodness for Tressa, because she let us know that you are instrumental in Off the Record. You've been around since the inception, yes?
I'd say I actually forgot how many years it's been,
Okay.
but I definitely wasn't in the very first one.
Okay.
So it was second or third that I joined as an actor.
Okay.
And the first time I did it, I played Dawn Keyser, who's sort of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
The movie,
Pittsburgh
yeah, the
Film
tie-in,
Office,
yeah, Film Office. And I played her as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz.
My favorite character of all time.
There you go.
Wow.
And then there was sort of a funny tradition because every year when they write the script, I'd meet with the writers and sort of help a little bit. And then I became the choreographer. But it became a tradition that I always played the yinzer in the show. So
you don't strike me as a yinzer.
I'm real good at it. Like it just trips off the tongue.
Okay.
It's not even like, no, forget about it.
Okay.
So every year I played the Yinzer girl. And then one year I started doing a little bit more writing, and I wrote a scene, Tressa, who I adore, who usually in the show. I wrote a scene with a character called Terrible Towel Gal, which is fun to say with a Pittsburgh accent.
Yes.
Oh.
And Tressa played Terrible Towel Gal.
Yes.
And her superpower was that when she twirled the towel, magical things would happen.
I love
so,
that.
yeah.
There you go. So for someone who doesn't know what Off the Record is, can you just let them know that they need to come? Because as Sharon eloquently explained, it's not just an amazing show. It is benefiting the food bank as well. So tell us a little bit about what to expect.
It's funny that people don't know about it because it is so popular. It's a one-night event. Like if you miss it,
sorry for you.
You're out of luck.
Yes.
So it's a musical spoof of Pittsburgh, mostly of Pittsburghers. I mean, we just poke fun at ourselves. There is a little politics and a little things like that, but actually this year is more leaning into making fun of ourselves, making fun of Pittsburgh. And the actors in the community, local professional actors, people that just love performing and maybe don't get to do it on a regular basis, and some of my former students are all part of the cast. This is I believe it's our biggest cast ever. And I've transitioned from being choreographer and in it to now director choreographer, which it's so much fun helping everybody, work together and achieve their their dreams of being
Their
on
true
stage.
potential,
Their true
right?
potential.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that Pittsburghers, we do see news personalities as celebrities. And Ray Zawadney, one of our dear friend comedians from Pittsburgh and now in New York City as well, he would say, hey, Bob Pompiani just puts his pants on like you do. That kind of thing.
Everybody else does.
And
Just a
and
normal
so,
guy.
but we hold them in high esteem. So to have them, as my grandmother would say, come and let their hair down,
Yeah.
is kind of fun.
Well, I actually asked them. We have a lot. I think this is the most we've ever had. So, and Sharon can correct me. So we have Ron Smiley, Daisy Jade, Mary Hours, Kim Gable. Thank you, John Delano.
I love that Sharon's yelling people.
Yeah. And so I asked them. I took Kim aside and I was like, "Is this like part of community service for you guys? I mean, is KDK being like, get out there and be a part of the show?" And they're like, "No, not at all.
That's cool. They
We
want to do it.
want to do the show.
Yeah.
We love doing the show."
Right.
So that actually made me feel even better because they have crazy hours. Poor Ron Smiley comes to rehearsal.
We
He's
just
like,
saw-
"Sorry, I need to be up in 10 minutes." So, like they are really doing it because they genuinely love it. And then it's fun when I give them, I'll give them like a little note on how maybe deliver the line to maybe get a better laugh. It's so fun to see them like giddy about it and excited and what do you want me to do? How should I do it? And they've been really great. It's been really great. And then the regular people also get a kick out of working.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside baseball, who's the best dancing newscaster?
Mary.
Mary kind of brings it. I
Yeah,
will say.
no
And
question.
Daisy
Okay.
Jane also has.
right.
Well, she has a musical theater background.
Yes.
So she knows how to turn it on.
Okay.
I haven't seen Ron's moves yet.
Okay.
Ron is
I'm
the
waiting.
most competitive weatherman you'll ever meet. We've done
He
plenty
tried
of
to cheat in a game show. There was a fundraiser for a nonprofit.
Sorry, Ron.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ron, throwing you under the
Sorry.
bus.
But for people who don't know, then this is happening October 17th.
Yeah, just a few days away. It's
crazy.
And it's one nice thing about it is when you walk into the lobby of the Byam, if you've never been there, it's a quite spacious lobby. There's a lot of people that donate food and drink before the show, so it's also sort of a fun atmosphere before a show. You
Sure.
can bring a friend. Oh, we'll grab something to eat. We'll sit down. We'll talk. It's more of an event. It feels like more of an event.
It's an experience.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
you go, and the first thing is the prebutalists. They come and talk, and then Ken gets up, like Sharon said. He always brings the house
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
he is. I actually think he secretly has writers like
Oh,
in Hollywood,
okay.
in Hollywood, like sending him jokes. But like, he's amazing. And then the show starts, so the audience is ready.
Yeah.
They are ready to laugh. They are ready to have a good time. And the other nice thing about the show is it's so cheeky. It's
Yeah.
just so silly and cheeky, and a lot of the lines are delivered right to the audience, like, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and so they're in on the joke, and it's special. It's a
It
really
is.
special event that does so much good for the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
24 years. That's amazing.
It's amazing.
So obviously this isn't your first rodeo. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the field.
Into theater?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great question. So
John Chamberlain, who?
1, Rachael. 0, John.
I was an extremely introverted and quiet child. And
Same. No one believes this, but it's so
I know.
true. Yeah.
And I went to the school my mom taught at. So I was, that's a different show. Trauma of being at the school.
Okay.
And my mom was really worried. Like, I was so introverted. I just couldn't, and so she signed me up for a musical theater summer camp at Mount Lebanon High School. And this summer camp then became the Center for Theater Arts, which is a performing arts school for kids in the South Hills. And she dropped me off at the camp, and you want the whole story? I'll make it quick.
Okay.
She drops me off
I
at the
do.
camp, and there were kids running around the theater. It was like in the theater, and they're singing, and there's costumes, and I was like, what is this?
Sure.
What is this magical, like, crazy group of kids that are, and We put on a show that the woman who started the Center for Theater Arts, her name was Judy Now. She's now Judy Gelman, started, and she wrote the show called Dorothy and Storybook Forest. So it was sort of Into the Woods before Into the Woods with all these different characters. And we all had to audition. All the kids had to audition, and I auditioned. And at the end of the day in camp, everyone got a piece of paper with their part on it. And I went home sobbing. And my mom's like, "What part did you get?" And of course, I wanted to be Dorothy, and I got Miss Piggy. Oh. And I said, "I got it. I must, because I'm like, what, I look like a pig?" And my mom goes, "No, you got it because you're funny. You're gonna like go and make them laugh." So my mom made me a costume, and I went out on stage, and it was truly like I got my first laugh, and I was done.
It's Rachael and John, and it is late night. This is fantastic because those are the kind of stories that, you know, people need to hear more of so that they can come out of their shells and know that people who have made it, who have done what they've set out to do, they're there. They've reached their point, and you can do it too. So I love stories like that. Is that your milestone? Because, you know, that's our question of the day. Was your milestone being Miss Piggy in your very first play?
I will say, no, I won't say that was my milestone, but I will say, for me, a big milestone for me is I wrote and produced my own show that's a 90-minute all TV theme songs. It's a 90-minute...
Sharon, does she know that I can sing every theme song from 1950 on? I'm not kidding.
You
Can I be in it? You want to do a part 2?
Yeah, let's do a part 2.
Yeah,
So
it's off the record, meaning around record.
Yes, there you go.
I'm proud of myself for writing and producing my own cabaret. That is
wonderful.
90 minutes. Yeah, that I think is one of my most
huge
prized
You're in?
achievements.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
We appreciate you so much. One more time, everybody can get... Where do you get tickets for Off the Record?
You can get them at the theater
Yes.
the night of the show and
Theater.
TrustArts.org.
The theater.
The theater.
The theater.
You brought us a...
I did.
Okay, what did you bring?
Okay.
I love... Are you sitting on it?
I am sitting on it. Well, I brought you two
Nice
things.
and warm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I brought you two things. So, I always have random stuff in the car because I teach and I need
Sure.
like incentives. So I brought some old Valentines.
Oh, do you remember when Irv Katofsky gave us
You
old
bright
Valentines? I love that.
any day. Your energy is amazing.
So it came with like a bonus, like stickers and lollipops. So the kids
that
didn't
is
want.
so perfect.
And
That's
then I
so-
brought you this, which I have reached into my car 1,000 times. I have a junk drawer in my car. So every time I reach into my car, I open it up and I'm like,
It's 50 cents.
Listen, funniest story yet, we have the matching piece in our office and somebody else gave us another half. There you go.
I knew it.
That
Yes,
is
that is the-
so
Now you have a whole dollar.
funny.
There you go.
For those of you
Thank
listening,
you.
make sure you go watch the video because she just gave us what is literally $50. Yeah.
Chris, it is an honor and privilege to meet you. We cannot wait to see you take the stage on October 17th. And thank you so much for being with us on
Thank
Late
you for
Night.
having me.
Well, thanks for doing what you do.
Yes.
Getting all these people
Thanks for
together
doing
and
what you do.
celebrating
No worries.
That's
Pittsburgh.
the truth. Next up, we are going to get a little 412 dues, and coming up is our musicians. There's a bunch of them in the studio. Stay with us. That was great. Mancini's Bakery, 97 years in business and still getting better. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will see various Pittsburgh personalities like Gretchen McKay, Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, KDKA's own Mary Hours, and WPXI's Jenna Harner, learning how to make the famous Italian twist bread. Follow Mancini Bakery on Instagram and Facebook, and remember to ask for Mancini's.
Welcome to Fanatic. Can I take your orders?
You need a tap it?
No, we don't use this. We know how to yell the sandwich to cook. Here we go.
Dig in.
It's John and Rachael. We love to dig into iconic Pittsburgh places like Permanis. So we brought our friends from People's Gas.
Please call at least 3 business days before you dig.
It doesn't matter if it's a big project or something small like a mailbox. Always call before you dig.
I called. We can dig in.
So please call 811 3 business days before excavating so you don't have to call 911.
Back with another Jeet Jet. Right now we're hanging with Jay. You know him from Mazda Monday.
What's up, guys?
Rohrich.
Welcome to my kitchen.
Sorry about that. I stepped over you.
Oh, that's right. I just wanted to welcome you all to my kitchen. You get to see me in the showroom all day, so especially on Mondays. So, you know, what better way than today at my kitchen?
All right, Jay, so what are we making? What's going on here?
So I have a little secret that I'm going to share with you guys. I get asked a lot about my Salted Espresso Chip Cookies. So that's exactly what we're going to make. I'm going to leave out some details because obviously they're special for a reason. So I can't give away all my secrets, but at least you'll be able to see these in the making because I'm sure many of you watching
It's Rachael and John. It's late night, and you know we
Slate.
always play. What's that? It's
Slate
Slate.
night.
That's right. And we always pay tribute to local musicians, and this is one of our favorite parts. It's been part of the podcast since it started 8 or 9 years ago, however long it's been. So first of all, we have to welcome our look. If you're listening to it, make sure you go watch the video because this might be the most band members we've ever had. At one of our,
Maybe
right?
here, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, definitely.
Right,
I love it. I love that they're here and they're ready to rock. You can tell, like they don't even want to talk to us.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, we
They're
have
like,
to talk.
Yeah,
We
nothing
have
for
to
your
talk.
junk drawer. No question of the day. Let's just sing.
Let's just
right,
go.
right.
There you go.
So Rob and Eric, you guys are the speakers for the band. So tell us a little bit about your band. And I understand blues, which we were just talking about with Sharon, right?
That's correct. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was actually selling something online, and Eric here was going to be the purchaser, and we found out that we knew each other.
Such a musician's world. Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Typical Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Typical-
Okay.
And I said, hey, listen. He said he was a guitar player, and I said, listen, I'm putting a band together. Why don't you play guitar for us? And he said, yeah. And the rest is pretty much history. And then we got Nick here, Nick Sarnell from Mount Lebanon,
Okay.
and we incorporated him into the band. Maybe a year after.
Yep. I
After
played when
we
I was like
started.
21. Yeah.
Yeah, about 21 after COVID.
Between bands, I put something on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook.
How about that?
I'm looking for a band.
Yeah.
And like 10 minutes later, he
A
said,
band was looking for you.
Band was
right?
looking for you.
Right,
Yeah.
left to right,
Okay.
whatever it is.
And then we played a bunch of gigs with some different people, and then along came Joe here, Joe Walko.
I thought you didn't know his name. I was like,
I-
it's Joe.
I
And that's Kimberly.
we're new.
Right.
But I practiced his name. And then his lovely wife, Kimberly. She goes by Kimberly Rose.
Okay.
Yeah, Kimberly Brunson.
Okay.
She's harmonica. So anyways, this is what it evolved to, blues and rock. And we just write songs and
I love
put
that
'em
you
out
write
there.
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you all came together. What types of venues do you perform?
So we've played at a bunch of places around Pittsburgh. We play a lot of the blues clubs that were in town. The very first show that I ever had with Rob. Rob's a fantastic songwriter.
Okay.
We did a
And
CD release party at Moondogs over in Blawnock.
Oh, yeah,
Oh my
sure.
gosh,
You mentioned that.
Blawnock's coming back up, yeah.
Last week we were actually over the hill from here at the Ugly Dog Saloon.
Oh, yeah.
And next Friday, if anybody's out and about, we're going to be at Acclamation Brewing in the 10.7 Marina over in Verona. So hopefully it's a nice night
over.
out because it's nice to play outside there. So.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah,
it
right.
true? I mean, we can't ask for anything more than October and being outside. That's what I say. So have you always been musicians, or is this something that you guys picked up later in life, or?
Well, me personally, I've been doing it since I was 8 years old. So I didn't even know how to play guitar, and I completely taught myself.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
And my mom bought me this cheap guitar, and it just took off, and I've been doing it ever since.
It's a rite of passage back in those days for
It
guys
was.
to learn how to play guitar and then be the guy, right?
That's
Exactly.
the time.
And then-
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have a terrible habit of I sing everything, and I don't care if musicians judge me. It's just it makes you happy, right? It's what you like to do.
That's all. It's all that matters. Just doing what you love.
Yeah. And how do you sort of? Everybody has a different technique as far as writing. What's yours?
Everything that I write is from personal experience.
Okay.
Or there's some songs that I've written that are from the perspective of somebody that was in my kind of position.
Okay.
You know, whether it been a bad relationship or something that happened in life or some kind of happy situation.
But
that,
not necessarily about you.
not necessarily
You're
about
observing.
me.
I like
exactly.
that. Yeah, you're like, not me.
Yeah.
This one's not about me. You're no Taylor Swift.
No, I'm not. No.
If people want to follow the band, how do they do that online?
So we're actually in the process right now of revamping our website, but we do have a website. We've got a Facebook page, Instagram. You can also, in addition to being in this band, I'm fortunate enough, I'm a board member of the Blues Society of Western Pennsylvania. So if you like blues music, there is always a calendar of events on the Blues Society website.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, the Blues Society turns 20 at the end of October. There's going to be a party at Moondogs for that too.
Moondogs.
You're good, Joe.
Moondogs is the anchor,
Yeah.
of everything entertainment in our era.
It's good for blues. And also Spiel's Tavern out on 22 in Alexandria, which is actually where we met Joe and Kim. Rob and I attended an open mic night, and Kim was up playing harmonica. And about a month later, I reached out to both of them on Facebook. I said, I know this is going to sound crazy, but would you like to be in a band?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And
the band, we didn't even
responded.
say the band is the Blues Drivers. We just kind of were like, here's the band. Tell us
Yeah,
about
yeah.
yourselves.
Right.
So we're going to hear a song from you, but did you bring us junk drawer gifts?
Sure did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of the-
While you're looking, we'll remind everybody it's your Jagoff Late Night, and this is the Blues Drivers. And you make sure you tune in every Friday. All right, so drum roll, please. What is the junk drawer item?
This is
This is several, actually.
I've written 3 songs with the pen that comes from.
Pen cap.
I love
Pen
it.
Everybody's
cap.
always looking
Are you
for
all
the
giving pen
Tupperware
caps?
cap.
No.
No. Okay.
This is one of the most expensive guitar picks you can buy. They make these really cool picks, but they're called gravity picks. You can get them online. So I've got one of those I'm going to give to you.
I love that. Thank
wow,
you.
that is like a
Thank
real
you.
deal, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Kimberly.
This is probably the cheapest harmonica you can buy. And with instructions. So
Listen, we appreciate that. We were looking
It's
for
funny how,
harmonicas once,
I
remember?
never read any instructions. All right.
Mine's real junk. I broke a stick getting ready for our acoustic performance.
Oh, nice. All right.
But I also have a unique thing that
Nice.
you probably never had. This is a
Oh,
pine
an
cone from a giant sequoia. So it's the world's largest plant.
I love that.
What?
It was in
Oh.
my drunk drawer, and like you guys might appreciate.
Okay,
Well,
look,
we
everything
do
fits in my
appreciate
pump.
that.
Anything
Yeah.
else?
Yep.
Be
All
careful
right.
walking up. Be careful.
Pick. It's
Oh,
not
boy.
an expensive one. It's a cheap one, but it's like one of the last bass players in Pittsburgh that plays with a pick. It belongs to him. And
Oh, that is awesome.
I can handle it, John.
All
I can
right,
take
thank
it.
you.
All right,
All right.
so you guys are going to do a song for us.
We
You ready
are.
for that? All right.
Absolutely we are.
So we're going to turn it to our friend Jack Doherty at Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. There's still time for Oktoberfest.
Hi, my name is Jack Doherty. I am with the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership, and I am here to tell you the 4-1 to-dos for this week. So, here in downtown Pittsburgh, everything has turned into Oktoberfest. As you can see behind me right here in Market Square, we have this beautiful tent decked out in Oktoberfest. We are open every day through Sunday the 13th, 12 noon to 8 p.m. The beer stands are open, the food stands are open, you can get merchandise. And then on the weekends down here in the square, we have some really fun activities. We have wiener dog racing out in the street. We have feats of strength up on the stage. And then there's a couple restaurants participating around here in Market Square where you can get some drinks inside, take them outside to go, enjoy the festivities out in the square. But that is not all. Once you've checked out Market Square, you want to head down to 6th Street down that way. Check out the Ferris wheel. That is open daily, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. It has been a huge hit on the bridge around the Ferris wheel. We have a bunch of carnival games, some games of chance. There's a lot of activities going on, a lot of fun happening this October in downtown Pittsburgh. We're so excited to bring the first Oktoberfest Pittsburgh to downtown. And a lot of the restaurants in the neighborhood have gotten as excited as we have. They've joined in the fun. There are 10 participating locations around town that are offering special Oktoberfest specials, drinks, food, German-themed, Bavarian-themed, you name it. They're all on our website. If you go to oktpgh.com, you can check out all the details. And we hope to see you down here before Oktoberfest wraps up. After that, we'll be turning this thing around and getting ready for the holidays. Hope to see you downtown.
Welcome to People's Clean Hydrogen Pilot Program. Here sits no ordinary container. It's a drop-in unit that transforms natural gas into clean, cost-effective hydrogen that can provide you with affordable, safe, and reliable energy with as few emissions as possible, removing carbon and making a product, not a pollutant. So no, it's no ordinary box. It's a powerful decarbonization tool, and just one of the ways Peoples is innovating the future of energy.
Mancini's Bakery, 97 years in business and still getting better. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will see various Pittsburgh personalities like Gretchen McKay, Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, KDKA's own Mary Hours, and WPXI's Jenna Harner, learning how to make the famous Italian twist bread. Follow Mancini Bakery on Instagram and Facebook, and remember to ask for Mancini's.
We are the Blues Drivers, and this is an original song. This is called It Won't Be Long, and you can find us on www.thebluesdrivers.com. Why do you hurt me when I treat you so right? Why do you hurt me all day and all night? So say you love me, I don't believe it's true. So say you need me, because it won't be long until I'm through with you. I'm through with you. Sometimes I wonder just what I'm gonna do. Sometimes I wonder just why I'll make it through. So say you love me, I don't believe it's true. So say you need me, because it won't be long until I'm through with you. Until I'm through with you. Push me so far away. Why do you push me and doubt all I say? So say you love me, I don't believe it's true. So say you need me, because it won't be long until I'm through with you. I'm through with you. I'm through with you. Until I'm through with you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Woo! The Blues Drivers. You can hear them out. Where they get? What's the website again?
www.thebluesdrivers.com.
Nice. We have to thank everybody, Sharon Eberson and Chris Laitta. And thanks, of course, to Johnny and Michaela and Tracy who puts this all together, and Monica.
Have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next week. 51 episodes.
Thank you.